welcome back to my channel Luna Noir Tarot, and welcome to this mini-series teaching tarot. For those of you who are celebrating Beltane or May Day today, blessings to you all. I hope that you have a wonderful Beltane. Despite being indoors, I'm sure you can find lots of things to do and celebrate the day. So in this mini-series, if you haven't already seen the introduction, I would recommend that you go and watch that video first. It gives you a highlight of what this series really entails and what the purpose of this series is. It will also give you an introduction to the foundations of tarot, which are useful to know before actually diving into the cards themselves. So today's video we will be starting to take a deeper dive into the tarot deck itself. As I mentioned in my intro video, the tarot deck is made up of 78 cards. There are two sets, the Major Arcana and the Minor Arcana, and they also are made up of different suits. So the Minor Arcana is also made up of 4 suits: Cups, Pentacles, Swords, and Wands. Wands are also sometimes referred to as rods in some decks, and coins and pentacles also are interchangeable. But as we're focusing on the Rider-Waite deck, which is now considered to be the standard deck in tarot, I will be referring to them as they appear in the Rider-Waite, which is Cups, Pentacles, Wands, and Swords. Okay, so now that we have that cleared up, let's really move into the first card in the tarot deck. So the first set of cards in the tarot deck are the Major Arcana, and the Major Arcana are made up of cards, well, the first 22 cards from 0 to 21. So as you can see here, I have the Fool card, and this Fool card is numbered 0. So there are in tarot, I guess, some general or basic meanings of each card. However, when you're tarot reading, as a reader yourself, you will have different interpretations of a card depending on the reading that you're doing, the messages that want to come through from spirit and your spirit guides, and just generally the person that you're reading for. Not every card will have the exact meaning, but I know that when you're first starting out and you're a beginner, it's really difficult to be able to understand how to interpret the cards if you don't have like a baseline to focus on. So I will be talking to you about, I guess, the general meanings that are associated with this card. Also, other meanings that I personally have found have come through in my readings for this card. And just generally, giving you tips about how to read cards and how to interpret them as you start to advance on your abilities as a tarot reader. So let's begin at the general meanings of this card. So you can Google this, of course. There are many websites that refer to the various meanings of each card. Specifically with the Fool, all the cards will have generic meanings. They'll vary slightly depending on what website you go to, but you'll start to see a general theme across all the different sources that you use in terms of what the card means. So the general meanings associated with this card are origins, journey, a leap of faith, innocence, new beginnings, wonder, imagination, embarking on a journey of the mind or a physical journey, moving forward, or starting something new. Now, the Major Arcana is sometimes also referred to as the Fool's Journey. And what that really means is this fool is embarking on a journey. You can see in the card itself, he has a little satchel or piece of luggage, I guess, on his back. He has the enthusiasm and free-spirited whimsicalness of an adventurer. He's standing at the edge of what looks like a cliff, so he's definitely, quite the daredevil. And he just seems really free. He's also surrounded by the elements, he has the sun. He has the mountains, which have snow on them, which can also represent water, because when snow melts, it becomes water. He's standing on earth and he's breathing air. So all 4 elements are present in this card. He also has a little familiar or a little pal with him, which looks like a little dog. So he's just really ready for this adventure, and that's why the Major Arcana is sometimes referred to as the Fool's Journey, because the Fool is the first card, and you can see he's ready to embark on a journey. And as we go through each Major Arcana card, you will notice that this journey that the Fool is going on, each card represents either a spiritual level or a physical one. So, things like the Temperance card or the Lover's card, they're all different stages of his life. Temperance and the High Priestess is talking more about the spiritual side of him, and or the Emperor is also a spiritual side. The Hermit is when he has to take solace and go within himself and just kind of go on that spiritual journey, but he has to go alone and within himself. And then you have the Lover's card, where he goes through this phase of falling in love. So it's just a fool's journey. I don't want to ruin all of the cards ahead of time, but you're kind of getting the idea of how we're all fools in our own way, and we're all embarking on this journey. And to me, the Fool kind of represents life. To me, it's almost like the beginning of life, which is, I think, such a fantastic day to be doing the Fool, because that's exactly how I feel about Beltane. It's, a May Day. I grew up in the UK, as you can probably tell from my accent. And honestly, I have been to May Day parades, for as long as I can remember. And all the maypoles and the dancing and everything, it's amazing. And just the beginning of, what I feel is truly spring, The warm weather comes in, the sun's, beaming. It's just all the flowers are blooming. I looked out the window today and I saw greenery on the trees, and there were beautiful flowers on the trees, and I was like, yes, finally, we have arrived. So it's kind of the same concept, that enthusiasm, that fire, that passion, that whimsicalness, I guess, is what I think about when I think of the Fool. So for me personally, when I've done readings, I have noticed that these are kind of the themes that come up for me when I am doing readings. Of course, by no means is this list exhaustive, and I probably haven't even covered some of the ones that I've done. These are the ones that came to mind when I was trying to think of feelings or themes that I had noticed when I've pulled the Fool card before. So for me, when I see the Fool card, these are kind of the themes and just the meanings associated with the Fool card for me. So for me, the Fool card is about new journeys, whether that's physical, mental, spiritual, whimsicalness, and I feel like that just comes through from the Fool and his whole posture and his larger than life kind of pose in this card. Free-spirited, I feel like to be an adventurer, there is a sense of free-spiritedness. Starting a journey, so again, this new beginnings, new starting of a journey, just going on this whole adventure. As I mentioned, whenever I see this and when I think of the Major Arcana, it's more about the Fool's journey and everything that we go through as a person, as I said, spiritually, mentally, physically, to grow as a person. and hopefulness. When I see this card, and that's probably from a lot of the yellow in this card, but to me, I sense hope, and just there's a lot of, just like a lot of belief and hope, and just that hope that you will succeed. Whatever the journey brings for you, you will succeed. So I guess success is also in this card too. So for me, that's what the Fool represents. And as I said, as a tarot reader, as you advance, you will learn how to interpret the card in different ways. One tarot reader will see different images in this card to another tarot reader. I've picked up on the yellow, on the sunshine, on the flowers blooming, on the fact that there are 4 elements in here, the fact that he's standing on the edge of a cliff, his whimsical pose. But sometimes that's not going to be the things that another tarot picks up on, or tarot reader, picks up on. So just kind of follow your heart, follow your intuition. It will guide you to the right messages, but you have to believe. And I know, again, as I said, when you first start in tarot, it's really difficult to find that confidence and know what to concentrate on or where to find the answers within the card. But start slow, kind of focus on the imagery. This is what I would say, I would advise all of you to do, is when you're starting out, pick up the card, hold it, close your eyes and feel its energy. Feel what's coming through the card without you looking at the card. So that's the main thing. You want to first feel its energy, you want to draw its energy, you want to understand the card without seeing it, and then use the imagery to then advance on your energies that you're pulling in. Because ultimately, you don't want the images to also deflect the feelings that you have, because as I've said in my intro video, and I will say time and time again, the messages that come through to you are much more accurate than anything you could ever interpret from a picture. So if you have a message coming through from your spirit guides or from your intuition or whatever you feel is that inner voice to you, follow that, because that is going to be much more accurate than anything that this pictorial can offer you. But use the picture, use the colors, use the imagery to really help you to build a picture and a storyline in your head. So that was the Fool card. Next week I will be talking about the Magician. Remember, this mini-series comes out every Friday, and I will be going through each card in the tarot deck. And if you felt that you liked this video, please like, share, and subscribe so I can continue to produce these amazing videos for you guys. Again, if you're celebrating Beltane or May Day, blessings to you all. I hope you enjoy this wonderful day. The sun is beaming here, and I'm going to go outside and enjoy the new blossoming of flowers and plants and just the sunshine. And I am very fortunate that I live by the water, so I'm going to go and breathe in the salty, watery air. Alright guys, thanks for watching.